live? Are we recording? Cute. Cool. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever it is that you're listening to us and whenever it is. Welcome back to the Rounds Used podcast. Joining me this week, I've got Kayleigh again, a consistent member. Female secretary. Kayleigh again. If you could just stop. Felix joining me as the vice president.
Roasts are coming early.
And then Laura, who hasn't been with us since our introduction stream way back when. So, hello, Laura.
Hello, hello, hello.
Cool.
So that's all I have to say for myself.
Yeah, just fine. So today the theme is roasting each other's music tastes, and I really like this idea because I have been consistently roasted for my music taste since the start of this society. So I'm ready to get out our grievances, and then everyone can shut up about me liking Five Finger Death Punch.
But how are we meant to do that?
You took my roast.
You just gotta have this one time, and then we can move up. So the way that this is going to work is we'll be starting by looking at Laura's music, then moving on to Kayleigh's, then moving on to Felix's, and then moving on to mine. Hopefully this will be quite fun. And I'm hoping that none of us cry. And if they do, it's quality content, so fuck it.
Yep.
So we're going to start with Laura's music. Now, Laura has selected 5 songs of which I will name. I will name everybody's songs before we start roasting them, just so that everybody in stream has a little bit of context. Well, I like at least one.
Okay, thanks.
At least one.
But
and
to
I've
be
seen
honest,
at least one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have.
So actually, I've seen 2. So Laura has Brumblebasson, I think that's how you say it, by Trollfest, The Spell by Cellar Darling, Harry Potter and the Curse of the Student Loan by Raised by Owls, Fiesta Pagana by Mago de Oz, if you like a little bit of culture, and Midnight Phantom by Lucifer. Now we're going to be starting with Kayleigh critiquing this. Are you ready? Are we ready to see this glory? That was.
Am I ready?
No. Solid no.
Please,
Let's find out.
Go.
Come on.
Right. Most of these songs I haven't actually heard of before, so listening to them off the bat was an interesting experience. I like the overall theme of magical wizardry. What I think is really magic is how you managed to choose these 5 songs to present to us as the pinnacle of your music taste.
Oh dear.
Oh. Okay. That makes me sad. But to be fair, I didn't notice that there was a magical theme, so I'm quite proud of myself that I actually themed everything. I didn't notice. No, I think that's just my music taste. I like to listen to a lot of magical shit, so
it's just magic.
it just happens to be all magical. But yeah, wizards, The Spell, Harry Potter. Yeah, I see that.
Very. So yeah. I think I can see Felix literally cracking his knuckles. So should we?
I'm ready.
I think he's prepped.
Yeah, so I made some notes. I listened to all the songs. I wrote down what I thought. All I got for Brumblebasson was that it is very distinct, although that it is distinctly shit. Definitely not to my taste. Went on a bit comedy. The spell, I have to admit, I actually really liked. It made me feel like I was crusading in the 12th century, and the hurdy-gurdy was a nice touch. So I'm afraid I don't really have anything bad to say about that. Although when I got to Harry Potter and the Curse of the Student Loan, I was pleased to find that it was only 9 seconds long. It was pleasantly short. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
The one by Mago de Oz, it was bonkers. It was all right at the beginning, but then the singing started and I kind of went off it, unfortunately.
Oh.
And the last one, bunch of smug Swedes. They're probably jealous that Ghosts do the music they try and do, but better, and that Electric Wizard do the style they try and do, but better. But yeah, thanks for submitting them.
You're welcome.
I love that. I am also very happy, starting with Raised by Owls and Harry Potter and the Curse of Student Loan. Thank God it's 9 seconds long. I've never particularly enjoyed music where someone shouts at me and then runs away after 9 seconds. Like, at that point, there's an element of fear. And the only time I've ever seen Raised by Owls, they got kicked off set 10 minutes early because some random dude started masturbating in the middle of their mosh pit. So I think that really sets a precedent as to what's being created in terms of quality.
Literal wankers.
Literal wankers. And then I think another one is Trollfest. As much as I understand that the genre of comedy rock is really coming into its own, If that's all you've got going for you, that you think you're funny, it's not going to be great. Imagine if Korpiklani dropped acid and tried to write music. That's what would be created here. Dropping acid, doing balloons, and just pretending you're having a good time.
It's amazing,
Progress
though.
is the pinnacle of just
Pretending
going
you're having a
too
good
far.
time.
Okay, I thoroughly enjoyed that. What do you have to say to yourself, Laura, as a defense?
Please present your case.
Present your case to the court.
I still love my music taste, and I don't mind that you guys don't like it because it's my own, and I own it. And if I want to be a magical wizard that drops acid, then I will be a magical wizard that drops acid. Also,
At
it's
least you're
Mago de
principled.
Oz, Mago de Oz, and it means Wizard of Oz. So not to
And
Mago de
you
Oz.
didn't notice the magic theme.
No, this is just
Yes.
what I listen to all the
Magical.
time. I don't
love
know,
it.
man. My life is magical. My tastes are magical. So yeah.
I have no doubt that you are ready to roast some of us later, so I'm
Yes,
going as
especially you,
hard as I
Tanya.
can. Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
I'm prepping. Okie dokie. So the next person that we will be roasting is Kayleigh's music. Now, Kayleigh has chosen to present us with Stand and Deliver by Adam and the Ants, Demolition Lovers by My Chemical Romance, Dalai Lama by June Rat. I never know how to say that. It's Miasma.
Miasma.
Thank you.
Miasma. My goodness.
Miasma.
And then South of One Bavaria. So, for the fact that I can't say these is one
South
of my words.
of one for those listening at home.
Thank you. Yep.
South of one. Like,
South
very
of
off.
one, which would be -1. But yes. So we're going to be starting with Laura starting her first critique of Kayleigh's music.
Okay, well, I'm probably a really bad person to start with because at least 2 of these songs I already really like and I've liked before.
This is a roast.
But
Be mean.
I know, but still. So, okay. So number 1, Stand and Deliver, Adam and the Ants. Yes, I really like it, but it is a bit of a basic bitch song. A lot of people do like it, so I don't think it's very original. So
Literally
that's
pop.
It's literally pop as well. So yeah, it doesn't count as rock and metal. So shame on you, shame on your cow, shame on your family. Demolition Lovers. I liked the intro, but then when it kicked in, it was a bit same old MCR. But for the spooky, moody intro, I'll give it a high 9 out of 10. But other than that, kind of just nothing that special.
Can I veto My Chemical Romance ever getting anything above a 6 out of 10?
I
No.
mean, you could, but you're not the president of the universe, so
No, but I'm the
you
president of this podcast, so moving on. Promotion passed.
Okay, next one, Dalai Lama, June Rats.
Dalai Lama.
It was Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama. There we go. Yeah, I mean, a foiled with knowledge of drugs could have probably written a poem better, or the same sort of standard of lyrics. Musically
take that.
wasn't that challenging. I kind of started listening to it, and then I kind of didn't notice a change when it finished. So if that doesn't say anything to you, then I don't know what does. The fact that miasma literally means a horrible stench for the next song already sets the boundary quite low. And honestly, I do like this song, but the one thing that really upsets me is that I can't tell whether the sax solo is actually a genuine sax solo or not, and I refuse to believe it's actually a genuine sax solo played by the Papa. So I don't know. It kind of annoys me. I can't tell, so I'm rating it low. But that's just me being a bit picky. Then last one, I just put meh in my notes because it was kind of like it was a song. It was
Wow.
a
It was a
song.
song.
It was a
Quality.
song.
It was indeed a song.
Mm.
Felix, what is your
Yeah,
take?
for South of One, all I had in my notes was this came out in 2019. Jesus.
Oh
And I
God,
think that's
did
all you
it?
really need to say about that song. Yeah, apparently. I know, fucking hell. Stand and Deliver by Adam and the Pants. without wishing to get a bit Spinal Tap, that was Adam and the Pants. Sounds like the Clash just did it before, but I didn't have to skip it, so that's a positive. Although near the end, he did start getting a bit. I don't know what to write lyrics wise, so I'm just gonna go do 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 do. Miasma by Ghost, fucking awesome song, and Dat Sax I've underlined, so I'll let you have that one. Demolition Lovers, bunch of shit. I'm not a 14-year-old girl, so it doesn't appeal to me at all. Unfortunately, this one I did have to skip through. Dalai Lama, nice bass tone. I did put that down. But if you want to listen to garage like that, why don't you just listen to King Giz and the Lizard Wizard? I mean, come on.
I thought you were
There
going to
you go.
rep
That's
them
what I
multiple
thought.
times.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not the best selection in the world, I'm afraid, Kayleigh.
No, I'm not a big fan. This selection of songs made me consider why you stood as secretary for the Rock and Metal Society when it starts with Adam and the Ants. Genuine concern. Genuine concern. So, as much as everybody loves Adam and the Ants, it sounds so much better after 4 pints, and I think that's accredited to the fact that it's ridiculously repetitious. So it's easy enough for drunk people to sing.
It's when I wrote the list.
What drunk?
I can tell.
Yes. I think if one of your main lyrics of the song is simply you grunting, you have to genuinely consider if you should be a lyricist. In terms of My Chemical Romance, again, if you're putting this on a list of songs to be critiqued, expect shit.
I was ready for this.
It's My Chemical Romance. Quite rightly said. We were 14-year-old girls once, but the ability to adapt and learn exists. I would recommend you do so. I gave the Dalai
Have you
Lama.
seen my hair? I don't know what that is.
Adaption, never. I gave the Dalai Lama a listen and really much just envisioned 14-year-old girls first picking up an acoustic or a bass for the first time and pretending they can write music. I've never heard a more repetitive bass line in my life. In fact, it got to the point where I skipped through the song about 4 times and didn't realize that I'd actually skipped through the song because it's just the same. Some fun animations in the music video, though, so there's that one benefit. I can't critique.
You watched the music video.
I know, dedication.
I'm surprised they even got the money
Commitment to the cause.
I think there was better Ghost that you could listen to. Would recommend listening to older Ghost rather than literally one of the most recent albums. If you're gonna go for Ghost as your sort of standalone, strange input into this list, is to make it so that you look like you belong in a Ram society, pick a song that's better.
Wow.
That's where most of that comes.
I also agree with you, by the way. There are definitely better songs on Prequel than
even in that album
definitely.
itself.
Interesting choice to choose Miasma for the list.
Yeah. So I think
I like the sax, okay?
You like
that sax, to be fair.
Okie dokie. So moving on.
It still confuses me.
To Felix's. Oh, boy, am I ready for this one.
Can I just say that I also made some notes on my music, and it's pretty much all these songs are fucking great, and my music taste is infallible. So I just wanted to set the record straight before you chat a bunch of shit.
Right, starting with me critiquing.
Starting with Laura.
Yes. So, actually, you know what? Again, I'm being nice here on my list, but I think the overall message that the overall negative sensation that I'm getting from this playlist is just it's way too long. Just cut some of that shit out. Make 2 songs out of it. But that being said, I am a prog fan, so I'm gonna just put it out there. Crumbling Castle, you've played way too much in the house and it's ingrained in my mind, and for that you're getting the lowest score possible because I close my eyes and all I hear is dun, 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 dun,
what a tune.
every time. Not constantly in my head, like I'll be in the middle of a bloody lecture and then dun, 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 again in my head. So no, low score. Again, Master of the Universe, you also play this a lot. And again, it's something that gets stuck in my head all the time. So again, low score, bad Felix. Get some variety. Next, I thought, I can't pronounce the one. It's the one that begins with the X. That's
Xanadu.
Xanadu. it was surprisingly jazzy, but way too jazzy compared to the other songs on the playlist or the other songs on your choice, because I think I listened to all of your songs in the order in which you sent them to us to listen to. It just threw me off and I didn't quite like it as much. What other critique can I say? I think that's it. I think that's my roast.
I'll say that.
Mm.
Who's
It's
up
a
next?
somewhat polite roast.
I was gonna say.
It is me. Oh,
No,
I
Kayleigh.
think I'm keeping mine kind of short and sweet because similar to Laura, don't actually have anything overarchingly bad to say about these songs. But most people tend to like grow
think
into
I
dad rock,
listened to all of your
not start
songs
out
in
with
the
dad
order
rock.
in which you sent them
So
to us to
slight
listen
generational
to.
divide
It
between
just
your
threw
look
me off and I
as
didn't quite like
now
it as much.
one of the older members,
What
but
other
with
critique
your
can I
insanely
say? I
old
think
music
that's it. I
taste.
think that's my roast.
I'll
That
take
was
that.
really poor.
Who's up next?
Somewhat polite.
Oh,
I
ow.
think I
Got me
listened to
right in the
Felix's
heart.
Yeah,
music
just
song.
pretend to be hurt so I feel good.
Oh god.
No,
So,
it's hard to roast songs that I actually like listening to.
yeah.
I did say my music
Is the
taste is
overarching
infallible.
crux of this.
You were meant to give us opportunity to shit on you. Like that was kind of the prerequisite of this.
Exactly.
roast.
Like look at the songs I chose.
Yeah. Look at the songs I chose, but we'll get
I don't
there.
listen to
Okay.
any bad songs.
So I think I'm going to start roasting Fear Inoculum because of all Tool songs, you chose Fear Inoculum. That, quite rightly, a phrase used earlier on, the most basic white bitch of Tool songs ever. You had so much opportunity for greatness in this one, and it failed. I would like to highlight that I have thrown a chair at somebody before due to their opinions for Tool, so consider yourself lucky that we're on a computer. In terms of, I can't, with good conscience, critique Rush, but I feel like I'm going to incite the gods to wrath me. Xandu was not the song you should have picked for a rock and metal playlist because it is the most jazzy, bluesy song I've ever heard. Not only that, it takes 11 minutes to get its point across, and I haven't got time for that. I have more to do in my day. In a list
Ain't
of
nobody got
like,
time for that.
we had 20 songs that we had to listen to, and you had to pick songs that were 10 to 15 minutes long. So thank
Yeah,
you
if you
for
take
that.
my songs out, it reduces it by 40 minutes.
Yeah, I really appreciate the consistent time needed for me to have to actually listen to yo shit.
You're
Again,
welcome, guys.
can't critique Hawkwind that much. Can't critique Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats that much, which really hurts to say because all I wanted to do was shit on you and I can't. But again, if you're going to introduce a band that I cannot pronounce the name of, don't expect me to have to listen to it. Though Crumbling Castle is a good song, I can't say the band's name, so
Expect me to have to listen to it.
so I'm not going to waste my time. I already have 40 minutes worth of songs to listen to.
That's fair enough.
Uh,
You got me good, guys.
This was the hardest one to critique because you didn't give us a chance.
Because my music taste is just infallible. It's just perfect,
Yeah.
really.
And this is why I decided to pick the most debatable of all of my music taste and put it into one small list of 5, ready for the perfect opportunity for you guys to no doubt unload years of wrath onto me. So the songs that I chose were
Oh yes.
Volbeat with Evelyn, Irish Rovers with the Jolly Roving Tar. If you shit on sea shanties, I will murder you. Chugaboom with White Mums Can't Chug, my most listened to song currently on Spotify. Judas Priest with Turbo Lover, and Five Finger Death Punch with Cradle to the Grave. Have at thee, friends.
Okay, so my turn to absolutely roast you. Not gonna lie, out of all the songs on this roast podcast thing, I didn't like. I liked yours the least. Not gonna lie, that is pretty much true. I tried to be nice in my notes, but now I realise I shouldn't have been nice because let's face it, Tanya, you're a basic bitch. But
Excuse me.
so yeah, Five Finger Death Punch. I liked like the first 10 seconds of the intro. That was alright. And then the voice sounded like sharting. I didn't like the voice.
Wow.
But double pedaling on that song is fucking insane. So that's the redeeming quality. But no, I do not like Five Finger Death Punch. It was
I'll let the
pretty
drummer know
basic.
he good, but I'll let Ivan Moody know he apparently sounds like a shard.
Next one, Turbo Lover by Judas Priest. God, I
Judith.
can't think of it.
Judith Priest.
Judith. Judith Priest.
Judas Priest. I thought you could have chosen a better Judas Priest song. It was a bit basic. It was like, all right, I could listen to this, but it wasn't the best. Right, White Mums Can't Chug. I love the name in general. I think it's great, very creative.
Start with the name. This ain't gonna be good.
But not a fan of the screams. Not gonna lie, it was kind of painful to listen to. I was just, it's not up my street. Not up my street. The Jolly Roving Tar Irish Rovers. Now, I really like Irish music, but I feel like you could have picked something with more variety. But 10 out of 10 for the jolliness. But other than that, you could have picked something better. Volbeats. Now, I don't really like Volbeat anyway. Again, the vocals weren't that great. I really, really displeased my ears. My ears were not pleased. The verses, I like the rhythm on the verses, and I feel like they kind of copped out on the catch because like that's the only good thing about the song, but that's like the easiest thing to do to make people like the song. So I feel like with your music taste, you're a bit of a sheeple. Like you kind of just, listen to one good little line. You're like, oh, I like this song. Let's put it on our list, sort of
This is
thing. Let's put it on my
revolutionary.
list. Exactly. So yeah, that's my roast.
I'll take that. Do you know what? I'll take suggesting that this doesn't please your ears from the person who listens to Raised by Owls.
Yeah.
Kayleigh, have at thee, friend. I am ready for it.
Oh dear God. I think the issue with this is I'd like to go hard, but if I went as hard as I want to, Tanya would forcibly remove me not only from the podcast but from committee. So
this is your one.
The issue that I have with it.
Go ahead.
My one free ticket. Oh, the issue that I have, similar to what Laura has said, is you've chosen like the most basic songs from vaguely controversial bands and gone, haha, roast me, it's easy. And it's. I mean, I did exactly the same thing, so we've both played into the same trick with each other. But Five Finger, really? Like, I know they're your favourite band, and I have seen them live with you, but
have fun critiquing that one, bitch.
They're all right. They put on a good show. I'd prefer to see them live again than be forced to listen to them on Spotify. Judas Priest, kind of classic. Like, gotta own it. Choice of song, average. Chug-a-boom, White Mums Can't Chug, funny. Like, I'll give it to you. It's a funny song. I did enjoy it. So I'm going to leave that one there because I do have a soft spot for, like, cringy kind of comedy rap kind of things. So I'll allow
I've won you over. Yes.
Yes, I'll take that. Volbeat, I don't really listen to, and this song reminded me of Why. I just don't enjoy it that much. And I'm just going short and sweet. And Irish Rovers Jolly Roving Tar. I love sea shanties. Like, I can't roast it. It's great. I've been listening to so many sea shanties lately that I was playing through the list of everyone's songs to roast, and I just thought that it switched onto one of my playlists.
Do you know what? I'll take that. That was the nicest roast I've ever had. However, I can tell by Felix's face that I am not about to be given that same liberty.
Well, let me put it this
God,
way.
no.
Five Finger Death Punch, more like 5 fingers up my arse is what I'd rather have than ever listen to these songs ever again. No, it's the song you pick isn't even from the good 5 Finger Death Punch album. Or the good Right Side of Heaven. To say there's a good 5 Finger Death Punch album's kind of, going a bit crazy. I do quite like the fella's voice though, so I'll give you that. Turbo Lover.
Oh, it doesn't sound like
Yeah, it doesn't sound like shot, I know. Turbo Lover, why would you pick this as your Judas Priest song? It's like the most 80s sounding song I've ever heard. And I've honestly almost fell asleep. I had to skip it. White Mums Can't Chug, brilliant entry into the shit comedy metal genre. Cringe. What was that? There's some awfully cringe line about I don't care what my mum says or something like that. Oh yeah, I don't care about upsetting my fucking parents.
Yep.
Yeah, awful. Absolutely awful. That was the first song on the whole playlist I had to skip because I couldn't handle it. Jolly Roving Tar, another song for the comedy shit music genre. If only I was about 40 years older and living in Dublin, I might enjoy it. If you're going to do a song like that, not enough talk about killing people, in my opinion. Should be a bit more Viking-y. Evelyn. Now, I did actually like Volbeat until I heard this song, and now I don't like them anymore. It sounds like The Sword, but so many years later that they're not even relevant anymore. Bit of a waste of my time, really. Anyway, thanks for putting those songs on, Tanya.
Oh, that was
That was about 15 minutes of my life that I'm not going to get back.
better than 40. So, in an
That's
attempt
true.
to bring us back together again, after no doubt upsetting each other's souls with our favourite songs being roasted, I thought it would be I thought it would be helpful if we were to go to Google, because Google is the structure of my life. Google the worst rock and metal songs ever, and then have a little discussion about them. If we think that they are truly roastable, if we think that they're redeemable, and why. As per usual, I'm making everybody think on their feet, which is what I like doing. Other options being if you want to introduce a song that you think is like your personal most hated song ever, this is also an option. So feel free to just pipe up at any point. But I'm going to start with, according to Google, one of the worst songs ever is Megadeth's Symphony of Destruction. Now,
people
I
do
agree.
like Megadeth, don't they?
Well, if we were to look at our old podcast, we could see that one's opinion of Megadeth may be dependent on when you've seen them and how.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I would have to agree in terms of having Symphony of Destruction as one of the worst Megadeth songs is definitely something that I would do. And the reason for this is because Symphony of Destruction is the song that people will go, all right, I've listened to it, I can leave now. So it's just the point of which you've had enough of Megadeth at that point. You can just walk away. Ironically, it's like the beginning of the set. So I think that says a lot about my opinion of Megadeth.
I think we're looking at the same list, Tanya, because the next one is Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue, which is absolute shit. I have to say, Motley Crue are pretty embarrassing. And
Yeah.
Kickstart My Heart, to be fair, Kickstart My Heart isn't the worst one on that album, because there is one called something about her being sticky sweet, which is equivalent to Lick My Love Pump on the awful misogynistic song names list.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Not a fan of Motley Crue.
As much as I love Motley Crue, this song, especially now, like if you've seen the videos on YouTube of him attempting to sing this on the farewell tour.
Yeah, Vince Neil ate a lot of pies as well.
Yeah.
He's not looking good.
Kickstart My Heart and its original album release is still a very cringy glam rock based song. Kickstart My Heart now, he needs his heart kickstarted after getting like a bypass because he's going to have a heart attack. Okay. This song now, you can't understand what he's saying other than yeah, and that's the only lyric that's now understandable.
Yeah,
What do you guys?
The album also
My lord.
Wow. Yeah.
Sticky
he
Sweet,
really
and
has.
She Goes Down on it.
Mhm. Quality.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Motley Crue myself in general. I don't know why. They're just because I feel like everyone loves them. So when you try and listen to them, you have that in mind. But then they're not everything. And I know Kickstart My Heart is not really my favorite, but I have a lot of people in my life who really like hair metal and really like Motley Crue, and they absolutely hate me for it. But yeah, I just think they're overhyped. And kind of same thing about a few Megadeth songs. Although there are a few Megadeth songs I do like, but yeah.
I'd agree with Laura. Like, they were good at selling albums at the time. All people wanted at the time was naked women and songs about sex. So this worked, right?
Yeah.
But
So
in
Lick
terms
My
of-
Love Pump was a good shout.
that's how you sell. That's how you make the dollar. But in retrospect, I think there's a lot of these that did not age well. As Felix rightly said, very misogynistic, not necessarily appropriate. I don't think it has a place alongside modern music anymore. But that's just my 2 cents. And I'm glad that me and Laura have started to agree on things. I wonder if I can convince her to agree with me on Raised by Owls.
No.
So,
Tanya, have you seen the rest of this list? It's got Black Sabbath on it twice.
The next one is like South of Heaven by Slayer, which I'm a veto. That song's fucking great.
They've put Paranoid and Iron Man on the worst metal songs of all time on this list. Shut up!
Shut up,
Extreme
mate.
Wizard.
Tech Wizard?
Although Enter Sandman is at number 3, Enter Sandman. The fact that one of my housemates last year, who doesn't give a toss about metal and rock, said all put Enter Sandman on, instantly makes me think it's shit. Now, I'm not an elitist. Okay, yes, I am. I'm an elitist, and
Yes, you
that
are.
is the most normie metal song ever.
Yeah,
That's a
Ouch.
no
big
from
old
me.
no on that one.
I think
Definitely.
there are much better Metallica songs out there other
Exactly.
than Enter Sandman, Master Puppets, One and
Nothing else matters. Yeah,
Mm.
oh god.
I mean, one
Basically
like
anything.
the concept of one is pretty
Ouch.
cool, to be honest. I like the concept of it.
I think
but,
one's
you know,
good. It's a bit overplayed.
there are so many other good songs. Like, for example, my favorite Metallica song is Leper Messiah. I just love the beat on that. Musically, it's so catchy. I absolutely love it, but nobody ever talks about it. So
One of the next ones on here, which I think I can 100% agree with, is Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold. Now, Avenged
Oh
Sevenfold
dear.
are outdated as fuck. They have
Oh, yeah.
taken their time and they need to move on. Do you know what? I think of Avenged Sevenfold the same way that I think of Kayleigh, and specifically Kayleigh's selection of music. In terms of, you had your moment, we're not 14 anymore, let's grow up
Oh,
and move on.
oh,
Avenged Shitfold.
oh.
Shit meh.
I'm just gonna go cry.
I'm sorry, Kayleigh. But no, like,
That was
Nightmare
probably
of
the wrong moment to say that Nightmare is one of my favourite Avenged Sevenfold songs.
my point is proven. It's just not a
mean,
good song.
the only song that I ever liked by them is Hail to the King, and even then I liked the acoustic better in a sort of pop sense, not in a sort
Yeah,
of
I like
rock
Welcome
and
to the
metal
Family
sense.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
not
think
like I
that's the
don't like them.
only. Yeah, I don't know.
They are
They're
shit,
just not
though.
my thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one specific song, ass. Don't play it.
Mm.
What else do we have on this list? Hammer Smash Face.
Slipknot or Shit Not, as I like to call them. Or
Yeah, so one of the songs on here, which I think is going to cause a little bit of debate, is The Devil and I by Slipknot. Now, obviously, this was released on Grey Chapter, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
and taking a moment to remember Paul Gray. So I can't critique this album too much because it is obviously meant to be some kind of remembrance masterpiece. However, The Devil and I is shite. And it's shite because it was the first song released off of this album as a single. It became overplayed. Every basic bitch went to Primark and got a Slipknot shirt. Ruined Slipknot for me completely. Everything before this album, mwah, phenomenal, grand, my childhood. After this, no, we grew up.
Yeah, I think Slipknot are shit, so
Really?
Wow.
You don't like a single Slipknot song?
not really. I think they're just embarrassing. So there you go. For all you
Anyone else
Slipknot
wanna
fans
run
out
the
there, please direct all your hate mail to rawholloway@su.co.uk. Thank
Yeah,
you.
just send it to the SU, don't send it to us.
Don't send it to the SU. Actually, do
Please
send it.
direct all hate mail to tanya.solomon.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that. GDPR. Please don't murder us.
I mean, the only time
Sorry.
I ever really liked a Slipknot was when I was first starting to get into metal when I was like 12, and I kind of liked Psychosocial.
Yeah, that's
And
who it
that-
appeals to. It appeals to
Yeah,
12-years who
exactly.
think it's edgy and cool.
Yeah, exactly.
When
I
they
was
should be
like,
listening to
"Oh,
Electric Wizard
wow.
instead.
They're talking about someone who, I don't know, is crazy.
He's
And
crazy.
they're metal and it's loud. And oh my God, this speaks to me being 12 and having no like solid sort of idea of your own personality yet. You know?
Yeah. I think that's why the devil and I
Psycho.
so much because
Yeah,
it's meant to be like,
Psycho.
I have
Woohoo.
such an internal struggle and turmoil with myself and my other self, and we're like, we get it, Tumblr, move on, please.
Anything to say, Kayleigh, about how much you hate Slipknot?
How much I don't hate Slipknot and how much I like Slipknot and play Slipknot as one of my go-to songs on the jukebox at the Happy Band. Yes, I have much to say about
Oh,
this.
wow.
Kayleigh, do
Kayleigh
you?
won't be
No, The Devil
appearing
and
in
I
the
is
next
one of
episode.
my
Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
I won't be appearing at the next Rams social. No, The Devil and I is one of the songs that I haven't listened to as much. And I'm glad this is a roast because you're all gonna roast me for this. That's probably because I'm listening to like Psychosocial more.
Wow. Wow.
Is there any like elitist traditional rock and metal songs that we play at the pub that you don't like? Like, is there something that comes on the jukebox
Um,
and you're immediately like, please skip this if possible?
Not anything that comes to mind, really, because despite what the songs that I presented to you today show, I do listen quite widely. It's usually when Tanya decides that now is a good time after about 4 drinks to put on five finger songs back to back,
Yeah.
and we're all sitting there going, "Okay, time for a smoke."
Thanks.
Ooh, time to leave.
You can escape, you know. When you don't smoke, you just have to say, "Oh, I'm gonna go
I'm going to
out."
start
For
smoking
what?
just so I can leave.
I'm going to start
I'm going
smoking.
to start polluting my lungs just so I don't have to pollute my ears with this shite.
Absolutely. Felix, is there any songs that immediately jump out to you that are played at the pub? That have to be rock and metal related, because I know you'd probably roast Venga Boys, which is regularly played on our playlist.
I'd say
Um,
all of them, really. Um,
Of course you would. Name some.
to be fair, I don't spend too much time inside the pub. I'm not really sure what songs are played that regularly. I think they're all probably shit though. So if any of you like putting songs on at the pub, your music tastes bad.
You can
Please
Please direct
telepathically
all hate
tell that
mail.
it's bad.
Please direct all hate mail to Raw Holloway.
Stop. Stop.
Raw Holloway at Raw Holloway at Raw Holloway at ac.u.
Let's stop that one. Okay, so we have about 15 minutes left, and I feel like we're gonna, in an attempt to again rekindle bridges that are yet to be kindled, because we're still somehow shitting on Kayleigh. I thought it'd be time to pick one of the songs out of the list that you feel got roasted the worst and try and defend it, and why, like with some kind of reasoning behind it rather than it's good. So that can be musically, it can be a story behind it, and it can be any of the songs, but it can only be one. All of the rest have to be cast into the flames alongside what I can now see as Nightwish on the stream, which I haven't noticed has been there for quite a while. So thanks for that, Stream
What?
Wizard.
There.
What?
Like no Nightwish was on the list before, so I
Oh
I
no,
don't
I've
I do
in
not
previous podcasts condemned Nightwish for being just shockingly bad. It's a recurring theme.
honestly I really don't like Nightwish either, so I'm glad that we agree on at least one thing or two things now in this
Building that
podcast.
bridge.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah,
I
look at us
Laura,
building bridges and not burning them.
Laura, do you want to pick one of your songs and try and defend it as best you can?
Oh, one of my songs that I
Yeah,
picked.
yes.
Okay, that's easier. All right. So, out of all of them, I think well, some of them were troll songs, like literally troll fest.
literally.
I put them as trolling songs. But honestly, Stella Darling, The Spell, and actually Stella Darling's album called The Spell as well. It's such a stunning album, even if you're not really into prog that much or folk. I just think it's beautiful. Like it's the most beautiful album that I've heard in a lot. Like that's come out recently. That I genuinely think is just stunning, and I could listen to it for hours upon hours upon hours on end, which I have done actually. This
Bring
past
up those
weekend
Spotify
while
stats.
yeah, that's true to be honest. But honestly, it's just so soothing, and the lead singer's voice is just so like honestly, it's like an angel singing to you. And
That's a big
musically,
set of
it's like
boots to fill.
Yeah.
but musically it's challenging. It doesn't throw you off per se, but it really brings you onto a journey, at the same time as being catchy and memorable. And I'm not the sort of person who listens to a song and remembers lyrics that often, but I find myself humming and singing along to lyrics from this album just from the top of my head, which is always a good sign for me. So yeah, definitely. Even though all of these songs I really really like, I think Stella Darling, The Spell by far needs more appreciation.
Okay, we'll give that one a hall pass just for now. Kayleigh, do you want to defend one of your songs, or attempt to anyway? I don't know, quite sure how, but
One of my songs from the list, or one of my most listened to songs in general?
I don't need to know that there are more songs that you listen to that are utter shite. I'm talking about the ones that you specifically provided.
The shit ones that you asked us to
Wow.
listen to.
Yeah,
The shit ones that I
we've
already
also
asked
had
you
these
to listen to. Oh, I want to give you more of my shit music taste. Oh god, I don't even know where to start. All right, I'm gonna
You have to
choose.
pick like one.
Yeah, I'm picking one. I'm gonna choose "Stand and Deliver" by Adam and the Ants as my song to defend because it's new romantic rock, which isn't like obviously it's more pop rock
That
than
would be pop.
a lot of other people's music taste in the society, but it does have like the nostalgic roots of my parents playing it to me when I was younger and then hearing like the version of it in Horrible Histories. So I think in the sense of not necessarily in its musicality can it be defended, but in the place it has in my heart.
Oh,
Oh, that was
I'll give you
singularly
that.
adorable.
yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Felix, even though we really struggled to actually critique you, I'm going to ask you specifically, because I'm a dick, to justify Fear Inoculum over any other Tool song.
Oh, really? Well, can I just make a point that I was actually going to defend one of Laura's songs, which is The Spell. As she already mentioned it, which was the only song on this playlist that I actually saved to my own library because I really enjoyed that song.
Oh
Wow.
wow,
Um,
nice.
however,
See?
Fear
I
Inoculum is
impressed
a
someone.
fucking sick Tool song, and you're wrong for saying it's not. It's the opening track, and it's just the culmination of what Tool's been building up to for the past, 30 years. Long prog, really interesting riffs, nice bass lines, interesting use of pedals. Oh, and the fella is singing. Oh, it's cracking. Even if he is a knob, his singing is fantastic. And that song introduces what will be a monstrous, long, proggy, heavy, psychedelic album. And that song, I think, introduced it perfectly. And it's one of the best on the album. So
I reluctantly give you that one. I think I am going to attempt to justify Five Finger Death Punch. Prepare yourself, okay? This is going to be a long old
The
commitment.
the shart. Of
Yeah, the
all
shart.
choices, you pick the shart.
Yeah, I do. And this is for both musical but more emotional reasons, similar to Kayleigh. Now, quick one out there. I always manage to mention my dad at least one time during every single podcast, and I'm gonna do it again. My dad and me have listened to Five Fingers since I was quite young. Like I remember he bought me War is the Answer, which was like one of the first albums that I wanted to get signed, but the line at download was too long. So Five Fingers always been very close to my heart, and like Kayleigh was witness to both me and my dad jamming out together at Five Finger. So there's a lot of love there. Okay. Now this specific song is found on Wrong Side of Heaven Part 2. Now everyone knows songs from Wrong Side of Heaven Part 1 because it's the more popular side of the album that got released, but there are many songs on this album that go unrecognized, and Cradle to the Grave is one of them. This is my first ever gym song when I was like 14 and realized being obese was not a look, okay? This is the song that I would listen to when I was on like the last stretch of my 11-mile bike rides that I used to do. So it got me through some hard times in my life. And it always just sort of, for me, in a lyrical sense, reminded me that I'm not special. And you just kind of had to get on with it. Because the song itself says, I'm not an idol, I'm not an angel, and I'm not a saint. And it reminds you, or it reminds me, this might be slightly philosophical, that I am simply a human going from life to death, and we might as well just enjoy it along the way. And my justification for liking Five Finger Death Punch is exactly that. None of you lot are musical saints, as much as Felix might like to think he is. If one of you sort of becomes Lemmy in the future, then hands up to you. You critique my music as much as you want. But we are all musicians living our lives as best we can, and we can choose to listen to whatever the fuck we want. So
I think Confucius said that about Five Finger Death Punch, actually. He liked them too.
However, I doubt he'd like Raised by Owls. No. I think it just, in a closing remark, reminds us that we can all listen to whatever the hell we want. We can all shit on each other for it. But the ability to still listen to music, any kind of art, is really, really important, especially to those of us who all met each other at our university due to our love of music. And that's what this song kind of reminds me of, that from life to death, I'm always going to have rock and metal, and I'm always going to have you guys no matter what. So, wholesome ending moment. You're welcome.
Oh,
That is so wet.
That
Wow.
was the wettest thing I've ever done, but I've now justified Flying Fig Death Punch. And anyone who disagrees with me, can fight my dad,
To be
okay?
fair, I didn't actually mind the Five Finger Death
Yeah.
Punch song. It's definitely not my favorite of theirs, but I've heard worse. I actually wrote that. I did write. It's not bad. I did write. I've heard worse. Although that was just before I called it shit. So
Oh dear.
wow. You have the balls to say that after Tanya just said that lovely speech. I mean, I agree with you, but still.
sorry, Tanya. No, it was very moving.
Can you guys still hear me? Because I appear to have frozen on stream.
I can
so that's
hear you.
fun.
You're just frozen. Wonderful.
I can hear you.
I'm
You
moving
haven't
on,
frozen for me.
but I'm frozen in a very chipper position. Yay!
I'm gonna kiss this Fear Inoculum album cover then.
You look like you're just about to tell someone that they're wrong, which is 90% of the time. So
That's a
you're
perfect way
good.
to end this. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna end this stream here. I've unfrozen. What a
Yeah,
perfect
you
place
have.
to end.
Yay!
I'm going to end this stream here. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me and allowing us the opportunity to light-heartedly shit on each other. I feel like a little bit of dark comedy is needed these days. I'd like to thank
Oh,
anybody.
exactly. It's been fun.
It has been fun. I'd like to thank anybody watching the live stream. Thank you guys for your interactions and for enjoying this. And thank you to anybody who's listening to this in the future on Spotify or possibly YouTube, depending on whatever we decide to eventually move this onto. We don't know. We're not that organized. And we'd like to see you in 2 weeks' time because this is a fortnightly episode. So we might see you again. If you haven't listened to the old podcast, where in which I have regularly shat on Nightwish and also spoken about my dad, I'd recommend that you go and watch those too. Quality Jason content.
Yeah.
Just watching that, it's just stroking the air. Stop! You're breaking my immersion.
You can try
Until
and grab
I'm
the
actually
picture.
here.
Hang on, wrong way.
It's
Jesus.
There we
actually
go.
Okay.
better.
Grabbing.
Thanks, everyone. This got to a shit show at the end. We'll
Thanks for
see you
coming.
again in 2 weeks' time. Thank you,
Thanks for
everybody.
coming along.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.